My name is Segun of the Beat Nights 9.9 FM. This is the Drive Time show, and I have a special guest with me. One of the guys that, for us on radio, we just we love his sound, we love what he's putting out, and it's a pleasure to be having a conversation with Black.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
How you doing, man?
Pretty good. Just kind of taking things day by day, chilling. That's it.
First of all, I need to ask you, has anyone still called you Sick Slack or Slack in recent times?
All the time. But I mean, it is what it is. I feel like the name the name is not really important as long as you listen.
Yeah. All right. What's it been like, man, since COVID-19 started? Because I see what's going on in the United States. It's not looking good, even across the world. But then, on a personal note, how have you been coping day by day?
It's been good. It's been bad. It's been up. It's been down. It's been creative and productive. It's been stagnant. It's been boring. It's been safe. It's been unsafe. It's been literally back and forth with a little bit of everything. When it first started off, I was just trying to figure out my daily routine. And some days you feel, like I said, more productive than others. And some days you literally are just sitting there like, what am I supposed to do now? Like, what do I need to do next? So it's been interesting because I think it's been forcing all of us to kind of stop for a second, restructure, and think a little bit longer term, think a little bit more just outside of the box than what we're used to. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Obviously you're a father, and I imagine that has a different dynamic to it as well. Is there a bit of homeschooling going on as well? Or
yeah. It was already kind of just the natural, just teaching her and stuff on my own. But especially now, she definitely hasn't like been back to school or anything. She's only 3, but still, like, she hasn't been back to daycare and stuff because even before coronavirus hit, she was getting sick a little bit, like a lot actually. And then right when Corona hit, we took her out of school before they shut everything down, and she hasn't been sick since like February.
Great news. Also, what's it like as a creative in this period? Because I imagine you get inspired by different things. Maybe you're at the club, see a situation, inspires you to write a song, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Or being holed up in your house, just staying there and you're making music at the same time. Because I know you're working on your album right now as well. Like, do you struggle for inspiration sometimes, seeing as you cannot do the things you normally do?
I would say that, but like I said, I feel like this time has pushed us to focusing on stuff that actually needs to be focused on. So the only thing that's really missing from music right now is that we aren't able to talk about like how much fun we're having. We aren't able to distract ourselves with like, I'm in the party, I'm in the club, I'm in the streets, I got my outfit, I got this, da, da, da. It's like right now nobody really cares to hear too much of that. I think that it's just a good exercise because it makes people like you have relationships with the people at home, whether it's somebody you're with, whether it's family members, like it's stuff that actually needs to be worked on and talked about creatively. So it hasn't been that much of like something missing. I think it's just a different task for other people.
Yeah. All right, look, let's get into your EP, which is 6-piece. This was about 2-3 weeks ago now, I think. 6 songs, and what stood out for me was obviously "Know My Rights" with Lil Baby, who has been absolutely killing everything this year. Look, on a personal note, I never knew it could go that far, But this year, he's been absolutely ruthless, and you had him on the song. Unfortunately, obviously couldn't be in the video, but then you shot most of the video at the LVRN studio, which is very dear to you. So tell us about this song and why you decided that Lil Baby is a perfect fit for the song.
Know My Rights was one of them songs that I have a few like that where I'll do maybe like a first verse and a hook, or I'll start a song and then I'll stop in the middle of working on it, and usually that's just because I don't think it needs anything else from me. So I just drove around to it for a couple of weeks, played it for a few people, started thinking about the idea of like who would sound good on it. And I think ironically, I saw too that the producers on the song had Lil Baby in mind, you know, when they were making it before I ever even did anything to it. So it was just kind of full circle. It only made sense that if I felt that, they felt that, and we sent it to him, and he killed it. Obviously, he killed it.
Yeah, I did. Talking about the studio as well, because I see you were telling a story about, I think you did a studio tour recently for
Hmm.
I can't remember what platform, but then you were talking about the studio and the couch where you recorded ATL freestyle. What is it about the studio, man, that is so dear to you? Because you have your plaques out there as well. Like, you know,
Hmm.
usually people have those hanging up at the house. You know,
Yeah,
you have a few at the house as well.
yeah. I literally just got a whole bunch yesterday.
Mm. So, you know, what is it about the studio and your creative process as well, especially the LVR? And you still have the mic from, I think, your first album.
Yep,
It's a lot of
absolutely.
personal stuff for you, studio. So walk us through that.
It's always been interesting every time I go back to that studio because I'm not stationary or I'm not in Atlanta like as much as I used to be. So anytime that I go there, I kind of have like an internal conflict of like, can I make music here and
Yeah,
feel good at making music home? And you know, I have my little spells, and then by the time I get to the studio, like I said, it's just always the type of environment where it's not really about forcing myself to do anything. First, it's about calling people up, like family and friends, to come over, talk, catch up, laugh, watch other videos, listen to other music. Like we all just kind of congregate for a little bit, and then by the time that's over, I'm usually inspired by them. So I made Atlanta freestyle
mm,
between like 5 and 7 a.m. That was like after a nap. Usually everybody's there late night. They drink, smoke, laugh, chill.
mm.
And if I'm actually tired these days, I just go to sleep. I just like lay down on the couch. It don't matter who there. I just like lay down and go to sleep. And by the time I wake up, most people are usually gone. And the
Yeah,
studio is just me by myself. So I'll just like roll over to the boards, and Atlanta Freestyle was one of the first songs I made after being back home in a long time.
yeah, and you kind of create music. You prefer, you know, having your own space in the studio, creating music. And how
Yep.
does that work with collaborations as well? Like,
Um.
do you?
Yeah, it works out because like I think that I've done a mixture of different things for collaborations. Like we have people like JID, Mariba, Quinn, so many like other people that I know personally that whenever we work on music, it's easy to work on music in the same space. And then people that
Yeah.
are my close friends too, we link up and we work in the same space. But if ever I need to get something done like on my own, that's just even better. It's even easier for me.
Mm, all right, great stuff. So there's a bunch of songs on the EP that, you know, quite interesting. Obviously, it's just I think your fans are quite pleased. You know, they have something from Black to hold on to, penning the album. Um, where are you with the album now? Are you almost done with what's going on? Plus, if you factor in the current situation in the United States, I think we kind of expect to hear something from projects towards
Right.
the end of the year, like, you know, touching on what's going on with Black Lives Matter, etc. So where exactly are you on the album?
I honestly wouldn't even know where I am in the album because I was working on the album and then I put out a EP, and that's
Mm,
honestly that's just been the way that it's been for us specifically. We don't really uh have a deadline or like a calendar as far as like we have to do this by this. I was just making music, and then we all were talking about the music that I had in the moment, and we were just like, let's put it out. Let's do one song. Let's do two songs. Let's do six songs, and it started to like develop like that. As far as where I
yeah,
am on the album, I could be close. I could be nowhere near close. It's just dependent on like what we talk about when we sit down and listen to what I make. I know I'm about to go back to the studio today. This will start like a second wave of just pumping out new
mm.
music. So we'll see. Like it could be another EP. You know, never know.
All right. I saw a picture you put up on your Twitter, really talking about your album going platinum, sophomore almost album, and a bunch of other plaques as well. Like, which one do you look at and you know what you say? You know what? Most proud of this one, all the plaques you
Um,
have.
Initially I would say Problems because it just kind of boasts the biggest and the album actually Free Black the album because
Yeah,
going into my label situation like it was supposed to be considered like a mixtape, and you know it was my first thing with them, and I just remember in my head during the time being like this, if it looked like an album, sound like an album, move like an album, like it's an album. And 4 years later it's platinum, so I think that it served its purpose as an album. And then I would say songs like Loving You and Free, There are a couple songs that have plaques that weren't singles and weren't promoted. So those
Yeah.
are really like important to me because that lets me know like what people are going back to the most and like pressing replay
Yeah.
on.
All right. Look, let's talk about one collaboration you did, which we love here absolutely with Marinote, who's a DJ slash radio presenter out in the UK. They had Rema from Nigeria on it as well, and Tion Wayne, who has Nigerian roots as well. So you, according to what I heard, you shot the video for what, 2 days?
Yep, in Ghana.
Wow. So what what does that do for you in terms of like collaborations outside those in your genre really? Because that song could have gone any way with all the collaborations on it, but it went just one really solid record. And are you open to doing more collaborations with people from our side, doing Afro beats or UK rappers, etc.?
Absolutely, because I think like in addition to it being great music, I just like making connections with people that aren't from places that I'm from. I like to learn things. I like to be educated. I like to engulf myself in other cultures when I go places and not just sit in the hotel or sit around. Like the only time that ever happens is when we're on a tight schedule and I got to go from A to B. But whenever we aren't, like we're setting up all kinds of tours, all kinds of everything. So as far as collaborations musically, like I think it's just only natural to work with people when I actually go to other places.
Very interesting. So you listen to Afro beats?
Yes.
Do you have a few favorites?
Right now I just love Burna Boy. I think everybody loves Burna Boy.
Do you have a favorite Burna Boy song?
Oh,
I know it's a hard one for me as well. When I get asked that question, people ask me, "What's your favorite Burna song?" And I think back on all the albums, and I'm like, you know what? It's kind of hard to pick a favorite.
yeah.
But so if you don't answer that question, it's fine.
It has to be the way I was introduced to him in the club. I just remember being in the club one night, and this is before I had any like idea, and I'm on the other side, so I'm pretty sure I missed all the Burna Boy like lead up to the Ye moment, and then I'm just in the club and everybody's like, yeah, 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 and I'm like, what is that? What is that? His voice is crazy.
Yeah, he's got an album on the way. We were looking forward to it. Look, to wrap things up, the album's on the way. Things are a bit hush-hush about it. You've not really given too much away about the album, so I'm guessing a release date. You're not gonna tell us?
No idea, man. It could literally be soon. It could be next year. You never know.
Yeah.
It'll be more music for sure, though. That's for sure. I know that it'll be more music for sure. So.
I mean, it has to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've teased your fans quite rightly with the EP 6-piece, and so more pressure, I guess, on you from them regarding the album. All right, anything you want to say to your fans, people listening to you, waiting for the album, people checking it out for the first time, etc.
I would just say stay safe, stay happy, and stay productive as much as you can. Take it one day at a time. Don't beat yourself up during quarantine. Don't even get yourself too down during like everything that's going on in the country and in the world. Just stay locked in with your friends and your family, and that's all that we can do right now is learn as much as we can learn, and put our best foot forward. That's it.
Sounds good. Black, I want to say a big thank you for having this conversation, and good luck on the album. The EP's out. I saw a tweet put out as well, telling people to stream etc. And any more videos from the EP?
I'm pretty sure.
I think Stay Afloat needs a video on a personal note.
We're gonna crank out at least 1 or 2 more videos at least. It's an EP, so I figure we might as well do as much as we can for it. It's only 6 songs. Let's just do as much,
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much for being a part of
Thank
this,
you, man.
and look forward to the music and every other thing you're working on.
Thank you, bro. Bless.
All right, bless.